Hello and welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to be talking about a recent sort of trend I've noticed in the new attractions for this year that are opened by Merlin Entertainments, specifically here in the UK. Now obviously this year so far, Merlin, apart from the new dark ride at Cadbury World, Merlin Entertainments have opened two major new attractions in the UK this year. Obviously those being Nemesis Reborn, which obviously opened on the 16th of March at Alton Towers, and Minifigure Speedway at Legoland Windsor, which opens this past Saturday, the 6th of April at Legoland Windsor. And obviously, the thing I've noticed with both of these attractions, we noticed it with Nemesis Reborn first, and we noticed it with Minifigure Speedway when that opened, is that why are these attractions unfinished? And I don't mean like, they're not like really that unfinished, they are mostly complete, however there are still parts of it that need to be done, that were originally in the plans. So whether that be the refurbished and renovated Nemesis Reborn, which had already existed before this year, but has been done up and sort of transformed, or whether it was Minifigure Speedway, which was built completely brand new from the ground up during the closed season last year and this year. But obviously, like I said a minute ago, obviously the entire ride structure and all the testing will have been done. Everything about the actual ride system is complete. And most of the theming was complete for the respective attractions, but there were still just parts of it that just are left unfinished. Like if you look at the queue line for Nemesis Reborn, obviously it's quite a long queue line. It's been extended so much compared to what it was before. Like it's literally like probably the longest queue line at Alton Towers. And obviously within that queue line you've got great views of Nemesis Reborn and the whole of Forbidden Valley, and you've also got two major theming pieces as well. You've got the large sort of laser gun that's pointing at the corkscrew for the ride, and you've also got the shipping container with track coming out of it, and obviously within the shipping container is all kind of different like scientific, like laboratory theming, and then there's a screen with like a little sort of like basically telling you what's going on, how dangerous the creature is, and things like that. But other than that, there's like literally parts of the queue line, especially like ones next to the car park. Obviously the queue line is literally just sort of next to the Nemesis / Galactica car park, that like are still under excavation. Plus there's parts of the queue line around the base of the lift hill and first drop that are being done up, with all like kind of drainage and pipe work being done around where the Blood Red River used to be, which actually suggests that the Blood Red River might be coming back, but it hasn't yet because it's not been finished for whatever reason. It's not just with Nemesis Reborn, like I said a minute ago about Minifigure Speedway. Like obviously the actual ride system for that was complete, so all the roller coaster, like the track's been placed, the support's been placed, the rides have been tested enough number of times, and obviously it was ready to go for opening. Well, the opening day for that was actually delayed by about 8 days. It was originally supposed to open on Good Friday, 29th of March, but it got delayed due to technical issues of unforeseen circumstances. But obviously with Minifigure Speedway, I don't think it's as themed as Nemesis Reborn, but it's still got a decent amount of theming. You've obviously got the giant minifigure Roxy, you've got the billboard that the ride passes through twice, well 4 times technically, because it's technically a pair of 2 coasters. And also you've got a bit of theming in like the station around the queue line. But obviously, like I said a minute ago, it's a similar situation with like Nemesis Reborn. Some of the landscaping around the area still makes it kind of look like a construction site. Like obviously, if I assume it's the same with Nemesis Reborn, where the parts of the landscaping are still ongoing, but they hadn't finished it on time for opening day for whatever reason. But the question is, why didn't they start preparing like the landscaping earlier, so that it was ready for opening day? Is there a specific reason as to why they didn't complete it on time? And I bet it's probably going to be the same with Hyperia when that opens at Fort Park. Now obviously Hyperia is probably like the least themed out of the 3 attractions I've mentioned in this list, because obviously, as stated by Fort Park, the budget for the theming obviously was sort of minimal, because obviously most of the budget was spent on the actual rides system itself, and obviously the mechanical side of it and structural, basically just because it's obviously a huge Mack hypercoaster and it's not cheap, like at all, to build one of those things. So most of the budget will have been towards the ride itself. But according to Fort Park, the budget was actually slightly increased when Nick Varney left in order to add sort of more theming, but we don't actually know how much more theming there is. But there is rumours going about that because they're adding more sort of bigger budget to their newer attractions, that there's rumours that Hyperia will get additional theming in years to come. But obviously, we know that because obviously it's not going to have loads of theming, it's going to be more stylised, a bit like Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. that the whole area's got to look really well, nicely done and really landscaped and finished. Now obviously it's over a month until Hyperia has yet to open, but Thorpe Park stated in a recent construction update that we can expect to see landscaping to start very soon. So hopefully landscaping will be properly finished by then. But obviously the same couldn't be said for Nemesis Reborn and Minifigure Speedway when that opened, but that obviously leads to the question, why hasn't like the major sort of landscaping for those attractions been finished yet? Now I think the reason might be, it's because obviously the respective parks, obviously they're both owned by Merlin Entertainments, maybe they wanted to open it as soon as they possibly could. Obviously, like, they wanted to get the majority of the theming, and obviously they want to get the ride tested for obviously safety reasons. They can't open the rides when they've not been fully tested or like maintained or anything like that. But obviously they wanted to get it open so that the ride itself was fully complete and the majority of the theming was done. But like things like landscaping, like around the queue line for Nemesis or basically most of Minifigure Speedway, maybe was not like as important to them in that sort of situation. They probably saw that like, we can get that done over a course of the next few months once the ride's already opened. Because obviously if they get it open as early as possible, it means that they'll have more time to bring the guests in, bring the large crowds in to come and experience it, which means they'll be getting probably more ticket sales within this season. So that's probably the likely reason why the sort of landscaping and just the general sort of area is mostly, well not mostly finished, but parts of it are unfinished. So that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video today. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it then please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you'd like to see the next video. Goodbye.